Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Sophie, and this channel is chronicling my journey of living my best life with multiple chronic health conditions. Today, since it is almost the new year, I'm just going to sort of give an overview as to how the year went, what, if anything, I'm looking forward to next year, and the like. I'll start with the bad of the year and end on the good, just because that's how I was taught to deliver news. You give the bad news first, and then you end on a good note. I guess the biggest bad part of the year was leaving two jobs when I wasn't able to get my accommodation request approved. And that kind of led to one of the goods, which I guess makes sense to say now, which was starting my own business, which will hopefully pick up in the new year. I'm not going to worry about it until like March or so, because I know when I was working, this time of year was historically horrible in terms of reaching clients. It's just a really busy time of year for most people, so I'm not going to stress about that now. Obviously, my health is still not great. My functional ability got worse this year, noticeably so, probably all the way back in February. And when I did the cardiopulmonary exercise test, that showed that my anaerobic threshold was worse and my VO2 max was worse. It all sort of made sense as to why I'm having more difficulty doing everyday things like washing the dishes, brushing my hair, which is why I cut it so short, etc. With that, one of the things I have done since literally 2005 was journal every day. Since 2005, well, before this year, since 2005, I'd only missed 1 week of journaling, and that was when I was doing intensive outpatient for trauma. And we won't even discuss how far behind I am this year, and basically I'm trying to get caught up, but I can only go based on my planner, and sometimes I'll write like little notes other than just a checklist as to like what happened that day. So if I don't have anything written down, I have nothing to journal. I am months behind. I'm trying to get caught up on that, but my arms just fatigue too much, and I got so far behind because of working and my arms were fatiguing, and so I'm kind of bummed about that, just because it was almost like a 20-year streak. But I'll get caught up to the best of my ability and we'll start again when I'm able to. With losing the jobs, obviously comes financial issues. Thankfully, I had some money left over from when I sold the house last year, so that's sort of what I've been making ends meet with. Again, hopefully that'll all get better next year. If not, I'll have to try to figure something. I don't even know. I don't even want to think about it. Worry about that in March. But there was some really good parts of the year. Looking back, this is probably the best year I've had since my health took a nosedive. And considering like losing jobs, financial issue, considering everything bad, that I can say it was like the best year is really saying something. So even though functionally I'm not doing as well, I am more alert. I'm not needing to sleep for so long every day. And part of that sort of came on the tailwind of last year and figuring out that my blood sugar was spiking and crashing, and that's what was making me sleepy a lot of times. And then more recently figuring out sort of how to manage the blood pressure spikes and crashes and still eat carbs. So that's been a huge help as far as energy levels go. And I did start at least one, I think just one other supplement that has also been helpful in terms of alertness and staying awake. And that allows me to do more, even though doing more makes me super fatigued, my muscles burn and all that stuff. Because I just refuse to not do anything. So I did go to lots of concerts this past year, whether local concerts I went to a music festival. Like, I did a lot. I did a lot of concerts. My rollator allowed me to do that. No way I could have done the concerts without a rollator. But they were really fun. I've really grown to like concerts as a vacation of sorts. I used to go on cruises a lot back when I was working and healthy, and that's just way too much work being sick, and it's not as enjoyable because I can't do what I want to do. So I sort of moved into doing concerts instead of cruises, and I think I might like them more. Just a lot of great experiences, meeting a lot of people that share the same music interest as I do. It's just been a lot of fun. And then I did travel some. I went to the Poconos, which I've been going to most years since 2017 or so, and Gatlinburg. Absolutely love Gatlinburg. I do hope I'll be able to go back one day. I need money to do that, obviously, so most likely not next year. It would be very financially unwise for me to spend money to go to Gatlinburg next year, unless somehow my business completely takes off, and yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like it wasn't a horrible year. There were some bad parts, but I would repeat the year. I would do all the concerts again. I'd go to Gatlinburg again. I would put up with the bad for the good, and I think it's the first year I can say that about. 2024 was also not a bad year. I was working full-time, but that was all I was able to do was work full-time. So there wasn't as much doing, whereas figuring out with the carb spikes and crashes and starting the new supplement, I've been able to stay awake more and do more, and hopefully that continues next year. As I've hinted towards, I don't have any travel planned. I think I have one concert planned right now, and that was booked like a couple months ago at least. Nothing else planned right now. Again, I can't really afford anything. My goal is to not need to use my savings to make ends meet. I feel like that's where we're gonna start in terms of financial goals for next year. I don't know if I really have any other goals for next year. I'll have to think about it. I'd love to do a powerlifting meet, but I don't like how weak I am. And one of my friends on Facebook is a powerlifter, she's a trainer, and and I know this, like, telling me, like, it doesn't matter, like, come as you are, I'd love to see you back on the platform, but it's hard. It's really hard when you used to be stronger, and now what everyone sort of jokes as, like, oh yeah, like, even if you're not that strong, like, this is where you start doing, like, X lift, and you can't do that. We'll see. But I don't know, we're just gonna see what the year brings. My word for 2026 is purposeful. So I want to make sure things I'm doing is with a purpose and not just mindlessly watching YouTube, which I do a lot of this year. But I'm hoping to change that next year because I do have my alertness under better control. So that's the goal. Anyway, I hope everyone is having a wonderful holiday season, whatever you do or don't celebrate, and this will be going up on New Year's Eve, so I hope everyone has a wonderful start to their new year, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.